Okay, imagine this. What if some huge catastrophic event just shattered reality and different versions of people were forced to merge into one being, and this created totally new, really dangerous kinds of magic?
That's quite a hook.
It is. Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we unpack the most intriguing aspects of the material you share with us. Today, we're plunging into an epic fantasy saga, the Wyrmling Horde.
Sounds intense.
It really is. Our mission is to unpack its unique power systems, the clash of its factions, and some pretty profound questions it raises, about power, identity, what existence even is.
And our sources today are excerpts straight from the Wyrmling Horde itself. They give you this vivid picture of a universe just thrown into chaos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Characters dealing with powers they never expected. A desperate fight for survival against some truly, truly chilling villains. So get ready for some surprising insights. It goes way beyond your typical fantasy setup.
All right, let's start at the beginning then. This cataclysmic event, the binding of the worlds. What do the sources actually say about it? How did it break reality?
Well, the text describes it as just utter destruction.
Right.
There was this great seal of creation,
Yeah.
right? And it broke.
Yeah.
This caused the one true world, which sounds like it was this original, maybe perfect reality to splinter
Splinter have.
into millions of shadow worlds.
Uh-huh.
Millions. And it wasn't just planets colliding or something. The true tree, which seems central to that original world, was literally uprooted. Mountains crumbled, volcanoes just roared to life.
And people.
Countless people just vanished, maybe thrown onto these new fragmented worlds we don't know for
Yeah.
sure, but it was pure chaos.
Wow. And that chaos didn't stop at the cosmic level, did it? It hit people personally, their identities. The sources talk about individuals with shadow selves on other worlds merging.
Exactly. Merging into one person. Can you imagine? Suddenly you have memories, skills, maybe even conflicting loyalties from lives you didn't live or did live, depending on how you look at it.
So it creates this huge identity crisis.
A profound one, yeah. The text uses a character, Talon, as a key example. She's grappling with having memories of two different fathers, two different mothers, even finding out one wasn't her birth mother. In either reality, she remembers.
That's a lot to process.
Right. It really makes you think about what makes you, you, if your memories, your skills, even your family history are composites. Which part is real? It's a fascinating take on the self, built right into the world's premise.
Okay, so reality shatters, identities merge. And then this new power system emerges. Runes, forcibles, and endowments. It isn't just like learning spells from a book.
Not at all. It's much more visceral. It involves literally ripping attributes. Virtues, they call them, like strength, speed, sight, hearing, even metabolism.
Ripping them. From who?
From living beings called dedicates. They essentially sacrifice these virtues, which are then transferred using these runes and forcibles.
Sacrifice. Okay, that sounds like it has a cost. What's the price for the dedicate?
An immense one. The sources describe it as indescribable agony, just sheer torment. Yeah, the text even compares it to a rough birthing. And there's this really harrowing detail about a dog.
A dog.
Yeah, it gave an endowment of hearing, and it apparently yelped in pain for half an hour afterwards. Feeling, the text says, bewildered and betrayed by its master.
Half an hour. Jeez. That really grounds the magic, doesn't it? Makes it feel heavy.
It does. It's not just waving your hands. It's a transfer built on suffering, which immediately raises huge ethical questions for the rune lords who wield this power.
Right, the rune lords. How do they deal with that? Knowing their power comes from someone else's agony.
Well, the text makes it clear it's a heavy burden. A rune lord's duty is apparently to protect their dedicates, and their power, their virtues, are explicitly bought with blood.
So there's a sense of responsibility.
Deep responsibility. Talon's father, for example, who was a rune lord, he was really reluctant to even talk about it. It suggests a deep moral and psychological weight. You're not just taking power. You're responsible for the pain you inflict to get it.
And what about the rune lord receiving the power? What's their experience like? Is it just, poof, you're stronger?
There's an initial rush, apparently. A kind of euphoria, intense pleasure when taking an endowment. But then come the side effects.
Ah, okay. Like what?
They can be quite specific.
Yeah.
So Rhianna gets enhanced senses, which is useful. But Talon's heightened hearing means she hears everything, like her father's stomach gurgling across the room. Intrusive details.
That sounds annoying, at least.
And sometimes much worse. Taking metabolism endowments, for instance. It grants incredible speed, sure, but it literally shortens your life. The text says a day for the recipient feels like 7 years pass for their body.
Whoa, so you burn through your life faster.
Exactly. You age incredibly quickly. It's this constant, stark reminder.
Right.
Power has a price, often a hidden one.
That is a steep price, and it sounds like they found ways to make this even more efficient, this vectoring.
Yeah, that's an advanced technique. It lets dedicates continuously channel attributes to a rune lord from a distance.
Continuously, so the rune lord just keeps getting stronger.
As the day progresses, yeah, without needing repeated ceremonies. But think about it.
The dedicate is just constantly in pain somewhere else.
That seems to be the implication. It really amplifies the whole moral dilemma, doesn't it? Your growing strength is directly linked to someone else's ongoing suffering.
Okay, so now we've got a handle on how this world works, how power functions. Let's talk about the conflict, the factions. First up, the antagonists, the Wyrmling Horde. The sources paint quite a picture.
Oh, they do. Physically, they're terrifying.
Yeah.
Huge, nearly 8 feet tall, incredibly broad, weighing like 400, 600 pounds.
Jeez.
Sickly, pale skin, bone armor fused to them, bony plates on their foreheads with horn stubs, overlarge canine teeth, cruel faces kind of twisted into these permanent sneers.
Grim.
And their skin is faintly bioluminescent, gives them this eerie glow. Their world, Rugasa. It's a massive castle built into a black volcano, lit by glittering worms.
Please.
Right. Apparently it was barren before, but one of the heroes, Fallion, used magic to bring forests. Only now those forests are dying. There's this Wyrmling curse blighting everything.
And their society, what's their philosophy? It sounds like it's built on fear.
Completely. Fear and rote memorization of these things called catechisms.
Catechisms, like rules to live by.
Exactly, but brutal ones. Stuff like, when lions feast, the timid get what they deserve, nothing. Or greed is how a man motivates himself from inside. But it is fear that motivates man from the outside.
Charming.
Isn't it? And history. Totally unimportant to them. They think time just erases it, which is, a great way to control the present if no one remembers the past.
Isn't that cannibals?
Openly. Flesh is flesh, they say. And chillingly, the meat of a child is sweetest of all.
Okay, that's horrifying.
It is. They also have this belief that being infected by a locust, which seems to be some kind of purely evil parasitic entity, grants immortality. It just twists their whole worldview.
And running this whole nightmare show is Lord Despair, the great worm, master of all worlds, currently wearing a human body.
Yeah, the body of a guy named Aerith Sol Erstone. Despair's whole philosophy is control through absolute terror. His goal: consolidate power over all the splintered worlds, bend everything to his will.
What can he do?
He has these chilling abilities, like draining heat from things, paralyzing people with a touch. But what's really telling is his arrogance. The Thors mentions the Earth's spirit trying to warn him about dangers.
And he just ignores it.
Totally ignores it. He's so confident in his own power, his own plans, he thinks nothing can touch him. Hubris on a cosmic scale.
And the Horde has ranks, right? A hierarchy of horror.
It does. You've got the Knights Eternal, basically animated dead lords. Some, like this one named Volgnash, are flame weavers but hate the sun. Then there are Death Lords, parasitic things that feed on souls, just radiate cold and darkness.
Yikes.
And Tormentors, like Culisaks. Their whole job is just torture, enforcing the laws through pain.
Okay, so that's the opposition. Terrifying. Who's standing against them? The resistance, mostly humans, the small folk.
Yeah, primarily humans who were obviously caught completely off guard when the world's bound. But they have some key figures leading the fight.
Like Fallion Orden, the torchbearer.
Right. Son of an Earth King. Incredibly powerful with fire. He can draw heat, light, but also, surprisingly, heal with fire, which is an interesting twist.
And Despair has his eye on him.
Yeah, Fallion's sort of a reluctant host for Despair's torment somehow, like a chosen one. Despair's monitoring makes his position really dangerous, but also pivotal.
And then there's Rhianna, a winged warrior. How'd she get wings?
Defeated a Knight Eternal, which tells you a lot about her right there.
Definitely.
She's a scout, a strategist, and she's capable of taking on a lot of endowments. She actually sacrifices her glamour, her beauty essentially, and her metabolism.
Oh, the life-shortening one.
That's the one. She does it to boost her abilities for crucial missions, knowing it'll age her rapidly. That's serious dedication.
Wow. And Talon, the merged self we mentioned.
Yeah, she's a formidable warrior, uses an axe, and she's constantly grappling with the morality of using endowments, even for a good cause. Adds that layer of complexity to the hero side, too.
Then there's Emir Tul Ra, a hero, another flame weaver, but he had some hesitation about endowments.
He did, because his shadow self, Raj Aten, had a dark past, apparently fell under a worm's influence. So the Emir is deeply compassionate, wants to free his friend Aerith from despair, but worries about that darkness within himself.
But he takes them eventually.
Ultimately, yes. For the greater good. It's another example of these tough choices.
And we have some heavy hitters on the magic side too, Dale and Hammer.
Right? And a Doyle, which seems to be like an ancient, powerful wizard, banished from the one true world, supposedly for sharing rune lore. He understands the deeper mechanics of reality, the invisible world, and he's orchestrating the resistance, particularly this rescue mission we get into.
And Wizard Sissel, Earth Warden.
Yeah, he can move unseen, has healing magic, and this unique, frankly terrifying power. He can make immortal beings mortal.
Wait, seriously? Against things like Knights Eternal.
Exactly, a total game changer.
And what about the bright ones? Spirits.
Spirits of just men from the lost one true world. They apparently radiate life and light. Usually don't interfere, but you can petition them for help, like one character, Lord Erangel, does.
So it seems like a classic good versus evil setup, but you mentioned moral ambiguity earlier. It's not that clear-cut.
Not at all. That's one of the most compelling things in the sources. Even within the Wyrmling Horde, you see cracks.
Like with Culisax, the Tormentor.
Exactly. He's totally loyal. His job is literally torture. But he starts to question the catechisms, the cruelty. He asks himself, doesn't a person have a right to defend himself from society?
That's a big question for a Wyrmling Tormentor.
It is. And it leads him to risk everything to save this young Wyrmling girl, Carissa. He hopes to find a mythical place called Inkara, supposedly free from the Horde's tyranny. It shows how even in that darkness, doubt and compassion can spark.
And on the human side, not everyone's a hero either. The Madoc clan?
Right. They're opportunistic, totally self-serving, using petty bribes and flattery to claw their way up even while the world is literally falling apart. They're a stark contrast to the sacrifices people like Rhianna or the Emir are making.
So it really underscores that theme of power's price, its potential to corrupt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You see it with Rajat and the Emir's shadow self. You even see it in Rhianna's self-doubt about taking glamour. Is she doing it for the mission, or does some part of her just want to be beautiful again? The lines get blurry. It constantly forces you to ask if the ends justify these means.
Okay, so the world is shattered, the stakes are high, and the characters are going on journeys. The refugees traveling through the netherworld sounds incredibly dangerous.
Oh, it is. The sources mention things like honeybees, whose sting is lethal to humans. Creatures called darkling glories. It's not just empty space between worlds, it's a new, hostile ecosystem sprung from the binding. Every step is dangerous.
And the true tree. They find it, but it's dead, cursed by despair.
Yeah, found in a place called Castle Corn. Seems like a huge blow. But then Wizard Sissel offers this flicker of hope.
What does he say?
He suggests life might still be hidden deep in its roots. Compares it to a man dying in freezing water, looks dead, but maybe, just maybe, can still be revived. It's a powerful metaphor for hope persisting against all odds.
And speaking of hope, a new resource emerges. Sunstones from the netherworld.
Exactly. These stones absorb and store the sun's heat and light.
Which is bad news for the Suniverse of Wyrmlings.
Potentially game-changing news. Flame weavers like Fallion can draw immense power from them, unleashing fire and light. It gives the resistance a weapon uniquely suited to their enemy.
And Rhianna goes on the solo mission, basically, to get allies, resources.
Yeah, really daring quest. She has to negotiate with these horse sisters of Fleets, who are initially just interested in using a new resource, blood metal, to become the most powerful nation.
So even potential allies have their own agendas.
Always. She also has to deal with this petulant young queen, Alonia, the brat queen. And then, just to show her grit, she stages this solo raid on a shipment guarded by Grax, nasty creatures, just to steal forcibles.
She sounds relentless.
Fierce, cunning, and utterly dedicated.
Meanwhile, back with the big bad, Lord Despair. He's sensing danger from the earth itself, but just brushing it off.
Yeah, he feels these warnings, these tremors of danger, but he's too caught up in his own plans. Get blood metal, making alliances with these mysterious chaos oracles from a place called This.
He thinks he's got it all covered.
Totally. He dismisses the fundamental warnings from the world itself. It's that classic villain hubris, setting him up for a fall, you suspect.
Which brings us to the climax described in the sources. The assault on Rugasa, the Wyrmling fortress.
Right. The rescue team goes in. Fallion, Rhianna, Talon, the Emir, Talon, and these two characters, the Cormar twins.
And initially it goes well.
Almost too well. The Cormar twins are incredibly fast and skilled. They cut through the initial defenses like nothing. There's this brief moment where you think, wow, They might actually pull this off easily.
Right.
But then a massive portcullis slams down behind them. Trap sprung. They're inside, but they're stuck.
And they come face to face with despair.
In the arena of the Great Worm. And he immediately starts playing mind games, mocks their efforts, tells them Aerith's soul Earthstone, the body he's wearing, his consciousness is still in there, trapped, like a mouse hiding in his skull.
That's cruel, especially for the Emir, Aerith's friend.
Exactly. Despair twists the knife, accusing the Emir, saying his past inaction, his honorable decision not to attempt a suicidal rescue years ago, is the reason Aerith suffered for so long.
Putting all that weight back on him.
It's brutal psychological warfare. It really highlights the lingering consequences of impossible choices.
And Fallion, he's suffering too.
Yeah, he's apparently feeling the agony of his dedicates, the ones vectoring power to him. Despair uses this to torment him further. But once Fallion is freed from whatever restraint he was under...
He uses a sunstone.
Yes, and not just to fight, but to heal. Himself, the others. He radiates light, compassion. It's this direct, powerful contrast to despair's darkness. Hope versus malevolence right there.
Then comes this huge twist with Voldnash, the Knight Eternal. Sissel does. What exactly?
Sissel uses this ancient, powerful spell. And makes Voldnash mortal.
Just strips away his immortality after 5,000 years.
Poof.
Gone.
Gone. And the change is profound. Voldnash suddenly sees colors properly for the first time, feels human things dread, fatigue, realizes he can actually die.
That must shatter his entire reality.
Completely. It transforms this terrifying ancient enemy into someone suddenly grappling with his own tragic existence. It's a stunning turn.
So the heroes managed to escape Rugasa after all this.
They do, in a stolen Wyrmling handcart, carrying the weakened Fallion and the girl Kolosak saved, Carissa.
But they're being hunted.
Oh yeah. By darkling glories, these slow, methodical flyers searching for them. And by Voldnash, who's now mortal, but presumably still very dangerous and very angry.
And the escape reveals new problems.
Right. They learn the Darkling Glories are heading somewhere called Caer-Lucier to get blood metal, and other Knights Eternal are transporting forcibles. So the victory at Rugasa, it's not the end. The conflict is expanding, evolving, new threats are already emerging.
Wow. Okay, so stepping back from the details, what's the big picture here? We've plunged into this world where reality fractured, power has this terrible cost, and good and evil are murky.
Yeah, we've seen characters really defined by their choices, haven't we? Choosing compassion against despair, or questioning everything they believed in, hoping for something better.
The whole saga seems to be wrestling with these huge consequences of power, the fight just to exist. It really makes you ask, doesn't it? If you can literally take someone's strength or speed or beauty, what actually defines who you are?
Right. What's left? And when reality itself is torn, what's the real cost of trying to achieve progress or perfection through these means?
So here's something to think about as you go. How does knowledge, especially when it's hidden on purpose or twisted, like those Wyrmling catechisms, shape things?
Yeah.
It leads to suffering, obviously, but maybe also unexpected paths to redemption, like with Kolosax.
That's a great point. What truths might you, listening now, be shielded from without knowing it? And what difference might that make in the challenges ahead?
Definitely something to ponder.
Join us next time for another deep dive into the sources that intrigue you.